Hello, Michelle Mould with Michelle Mould Art, and today I'm just going to share a few more of my watercolour books. Well, not just watercolour books, they are also other types of books as well. I'm going to start with this one, which is called Watercolour Workbook, 30-minute beginner botanical projects on premium watercolour paper. And it's Sarah Simon, the Mint Gardener. And let's just turn it over. Does it say who printed it? No, but it does say unique and beautiful botanical drawings that fill, I'm just going to check I'm in, yep, that fill each page and are ready for you to watercolour. No drawing or tracing required, and this book teaches you all the basic watercolour techniques and provides simple step-by-step project instructions so you can quickly and confidently start painting today. Let's have a little look inside. So if I move that up a little bit more, there we go. We have a table of contents. We've got an introduction, materials, techniques, colour recipes. Then we've got the actual botanical projects and some acknowledgements at the end. So it starts with a little introduction here. And then it gives you a materials list, the things that you're going to need: round watercolor brushes, waterproof ink pen, paint and some paint colors, and then some extras. And it does actually even give you a pro tip on how to hold your brush. So this is really good for beginners. It then gives you a little idea about the paint palette, water jar, watercolour paper, blotting towel. So it really starts from the beginning and teaches you some basic techniques: how to do a wash, how to do wet in wet, how to do wet on dry, blotting, dry brush technique, talking about some painting boundaries, and then it gives you a little idea of how the projects work. Talks a bit about colour recipes or colour palettes, if you like, and then it gives you the mixes of how to make each of the colours that you're going to need for the botanical projects. So for instance, Buff uses 90% white and 10% yellow ochre. So it gives you an idea how to make all the colours that you're going to be using. And it goes on here and how to mix those colours. And then you can see this is where I started to have a go at this, and I put in my colours. At the time I didn't have Perylene Maroon or Perylene Violet. But anyway, you can see where I have followed these projects a long while ago. Gives you some colour recipes, and it gets you practicing mixing. So for example, what's this one? This one over here for a branch is 40% yellow ochre, 50% burnt sienna, and 10% ivory black. And that's the colour that you get. So you even get to practice mixing the colours that you're going to be using in the project. And then here we have the first of the projects. It tells you exactly which colours you'll need, and you might need to mix them from the colour recipe. And then it gives you the complete instructions on how to complete this, which is on beautiful watercolour paper, so that you end up with this eucalyptus leaf. Here we've got the dahlia. We've got another type of eucalyptus. We've got a foxglove, buttercup wreath, fiddle leaf fig. Oh, I love that name, fiddle leaf fig. We've got wildflower swag, and this kind of, I'm going to scroll past some of these. We've got a lupine there. We've got peony and wildflowers, and it moves on so that it gradually gets more complicated as you go along, and you've always got what the finished picture should look like. So if you want to practice mixing colours and you just want the outlines already there for you, then this is a really lovely little book, especially for beginners. But for a day when perhaps you just don't want to think, you have no idea what it is that you're going to produce, you haven't come up with an idea, then you know, this is a really superb little book for those lazy days when you just want to get your paints out, mix a few colours together and complete something. So that's the watercolour workbook. I'm now going to move on to, well, I've got two books here. They're by Catherine Hyde, and they are absolutely stunning. These aren't watercolour books. If I move it over, I might be able to open it better. There we go. They're just stunning, and they are lovely to give you ideas. So this is The Bee and the Sun. It's a calendar of paintings by Catherine Hyde. And it looks like I've got one of my signature bookmarks in here. So you get a little bit of text and a little picture there. Then it goes by the months. So we've got January, and we've got the sun. And look at this. I mean, these illustrations are just stunning. So it gives you a lovely picture. Then it gives you rosemary for January. Look at that. This is the place where the bee dreams. February. Little poem there. Look at this. I love this use of colour. It's just absolutely stunning. This, we've got the bay leaf, basil. This is the place where the bee stirs, March. We've got some wild garlic there, white dead nettle, dandelion. This is the place where the bee unfolds. And now we're into April. Oregano, wild bergamot. And she gives you some, this is wild thyme. So for all of the plants, thyme has antiseptic qualities and was used as an embalming herb in ancient Egypt. In many countries it was placed in coffins to ensure passage into the next world. Greek athletes were said to have applied thyme or oil of thyme to their bodies to improve their courage. And in medieval days, wild thyme was thought to be under the control of fairies and therefore dangerous to bring into the house. So for each of the plants, you get, oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. You get a little bit of trivia, I suppose, about each plant. So that, I won't go any further, but that gives you an idea on what that one is like. The Bee and the Sun, a calendar of paintings by Catherine Hyde. Beautiful, stunning book. The other one of hers that I bought was The Hare and the Moon. So this is another calendar of paintings by Catherine Hyde, The Hare and the Moon. And so this one, it has little bits of poetry. So January, the new year dawns, the hare is away over the hill and under the hill, scattering snow. And she sings, the moon after Yule, the snow moon, the wolf moon, the hunger moon, the sap moon, the crow moon. And there we have this stunning picture. So for this one, we've got January's flower is a snowdrop. The snowdrop flowers early, a symbol of hope and purity in the depths of winter. It's also called dewdrops, white bells, drooping bells. January's tree is the crab apple. The mystical Avalon was also known as the Isle of Apples. The wild crab apple is ancient and magical. Witches were said to conceal their potions in its fruit, sleep under its branches, and dream at your peril. We've then got January's bird, which is a bullfinch. Oh, also called alp, olf, hoop, morp, bloodolp, black knob, monk, budding bird, and lumbudder. Wow. This is the place where the hare runs. February. So you have another little poem. You have a beautifully stunning picture. Then we move into the February's flower, February's tree, February's bird, March, the same thing. We have a stunning picture. Then we have March's flower, March's tree, March's bird. I mean, it's just beautiful. The pictures are all just stunning. So hopefully, oh, look at the hawthorn. So hopefully this gives you a little idea about what's inside this book. But I just think they are beautiful and inspiring. So The Hare and the Moon, a calendar of paintings, Catherine Hyde. Moving on, I've just got a couple more books to share. This is called The Creature Garden, an illustrator's guide to beautiful beasts and fictional fauna by Harry and Zaina Goldhawk. So let's just move my... So here we have a little bit about drawing animals, some tools, materials, progress, sketchbooks. Then we've got tutorials, patterns, mammals, ocean life, birds, insects, mythical creatures, botanicals, and a note from the author and some acknowledgements. So let's just have a quick flick through here. So here we can see that it shows you how it breaks down how to do the fox here. It talks about how to do some pattern making. I think this, let me just get a bit closer. Yeah. Lots of lovely patterns. Then we've got some mammals. Talks about how to do faces, back legs. Look at this. It's folk art kind of style. And it breaks everything down into shapes again to help you draw all these lovely animals. There's a tiger. We've got dogs. Here we go, foxes. We've got some horses. I'm not doing every page. I'm just flicking through some. And look at our lovely sloth. Giant panda, brown bear, whales and orcas, dolphins, giant Pacific octopus, sea dragon. Then we move on to birds. These are just stunning, the pages where it's moving on to the next topic. So we've got a swan. Look at that for the peacock. There we are, all broken down. Crane, small birds. We've got damselflies, bumblebees. We've even got mythical creatures here, like a phoenix, all broken down. Look, we've got fairies. Oh, gorgeous. Mermaids. How to do the mermaids scale patterns. We've got a center. That's the symbol that goes with Sagittarius. That's what I am, Sagittarius. Pegasus, unicorns, griffins. So yes, some beautiful, or even dragons. And then we've got some botanicals at the back here, all done in the kind of folk art style, which would still lend itself to many different mediums. There. So that is the Creature Garden, an illustrator's guide to beautiful beasts and fictional fauna by Harry and Zaina Goldhawk. That's that one. The last one that I'm going to share with you today, don't know where that piece of cardboard's come from, is called The Spirit of the Brush by Song Suk Hong Seton. Chinese brush painting techniques, simplicity, spirit and personal journey. The Spirit of the Brush. I mean, I just love the front cover. I have got some Gansai Tambi paints and some Chinese paintbrushes, and I would really like to have a go. I mean, look at that. It's the simplicity, and I think there's not that many strokes once you've learnt them. So introduction, spirit in search of chi, tools and materials, basic techniques, and then it breaks it down into spring, summer, fall and winter. And then you've even got painting music, and all sorts of other little bits at the end there. So letting the brush lead in search. Oh, let me just move that down. In search of chi. I used to practice Qigong. I'm trying to get back into it. Look at these. To me, they're just full of colour, of movement. Really beautiful. Here we go, some of the materials. The kind of paper. Basic techniques. Basic use of the brush. I mean, that's just monochrome, but it's just stunning. Brush strokes. So the different strokes that you're going to need to be able to do these gorgeous pieces of art. Dancing brush stroke. Doesn't sound nice. And then we've got the 4 plant nobles. So you've got the orchid, the bamboo, the plum blossom and the chrysanthemum. And I believe from memory, if you learn the techniques to do each of these 4 noble plants, then you've really got the skills to use for any painting. And it even gives you little arrows showing you which way and which direction to work in. So it really does break it down. Oh, that's lovely. So this is something that I really want to have a go at. I think it does probably take quite a bit of practice. This is the chrysanthemum. Even the stalks. Look at this. I mean, it's just simplicity, but beautiful. And this is the author. In Chinese, the word landscape means mountains and water. That's rather nice. Look. So, yeah, it kind of breaks everything down. We've got rocks and mountains here, and she's breaking everything down so that you can see how to do those strokes. She even talks about compositional elements, capturing the essence of what it is that you're wanting to paint. Spring branches with birds. Another one of my bookmarks. Then we move on to some summer ideas. That we've got all the little damsel and dragonflies. Look at these dunes. Just wonderful. A really quite loose way of painting. And then it's got a little bit about names. I did find out what my name was. I have it somewhere. And then we've got some of these paintings that she shares with us. Look at that. Anyway, there we go. Something a little bit different, called The Spirit of the Brush by, I'm probably murdering this surname, by Song Suk Hong Seton. There we go. So that's it for today, and please like and hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you again next time.